And welcome, people. It's the TBK podcast today. It's with myself, Rash, and we got Rich as well. So we're going to be talking about some of the women's boxing that was on last night. I think we had Shannon Courtenay versus Ebanie Bridges, and we had Savannah Marshall versus I don't know if I'm name, so I'm not even going to pretend that I know it. But yeah, it was a good night full of women's boxing. I think the Courtenay versus Bridges fight got a lot of traction for some assets in the fight. Well, I think he got it. Carry on.
I said, what was it? A right hand? What's the asset?
Yeah, I think it was the right hand. But yeah, I think he got a lot of attention. But the main thing is that it got attention. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what? It didn't disappoint. I don't really watch women's boxing that much. No offense to anybody, but I don't. But that I'm glad I tuned into that fight, man. That was a good fight. It was a good scrap. They both showed heart. Courtney used her boxing skills to pull through. But Bridges, she's got heart, man. And she can fight. She can definitely. She's scrappy. She can fight, man. So what was your thoughts on the fight, Rich?
It was a really good fight. I think that I don't mind how she sold the fight. Ebanie Bridges, is that
Bridges? Yeah, Bridges.
You know, I've actually been following her on Twitter. I started following her recently, but I thought it was Shannon Courtenay. I didn't know the truth. So that's honestly my ignorance on the entire situation. But I like her approach. Ultimately, boxing is a sport and it needs to be taken seriously as such, but it's an entertainment sport. Absolutely. No one wants to watch boring football games and no one wants to watch boring, boxing matches or anything. It doesn't need to be, abandoned defense. A lot of people complain about Mayweather fights, but a lot of people enjoy them for the level of skill displayed. And it was a lot, and it's the same with Lomachenko. There was a lot of skill displayed. He wasn't always getting knockouts. People were quitting. But he wasn't always getting knockouts. The skill that was displayed, people could appreciate. Absolutely. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a Tyson Fury or any other loudmouth, because you're selling your sport and it gets people.
You have to be your own biggest promoter as well, because otherwise, we've seen for example, Bob Arum saying, Crawford can't promote himself, and Crawford's one of the best fighters in the world, but he's quiet. Whereas obviously Bridges obviously took what she has and used it to sell the fight and get an audience into the fight, and really that's what it's about as well. Because like you said, it's an entertainment. The more people that watch it, the more money you're gonna get, and you're gonna get fast tracked to a title quicker, which she did. Yeah. She got because that was a world title fight in 6 fights. So I think she's been doing the right thing, selling herself, promoting herself. Promoting herself. She's
been doing a good thing selling herself.
She's been doing a good job promoting herself. So she's come all the way from Australia and then come over to England, and people knew who she was. It was sold as not a massive fight, but it was people there was eyes on it. You know what I mean?
People wanted to see, and the fight didn't disappoint. That's the most important thing. She advertised the product well, and she delivered. She went to war. She lost. She came up short in the fight, but she fought a more skilled fighter and did the right thing. That's how you beat a more skilled fighter. She pressured, and I feel she didn't, get that eye injury. And that's nothing to discredit Shannon Courtenay, because Shannon Courtenay gave her the eye injury. But if she never got that eye injury, she might have won the fight. I think.
No, man, I don't think. I think
them last 2 rounds determined the fight. And Shannon Courtenay won the last 2 rounds comfortably because she couldn't see though.
Yeah, I think Courtney's skills were just a bit too much. I think she had the movement over it. Do you know what I'm saying? She was picking better shots. I think Bridges was a lot stronger, and there was a couple shots which rocked her badly. But even that time when Courtney hit her with that left hook, and I think that she was close to being.
She was very close to going. Yeah, she was.
So they both showed good heart and everything, man. So I'm starting to appreciate women's boxing a little bit more. So hopefully one day it can just be boxing. So
Savannah Marshall as well. I think
she looked like she was fighting someone's grandma, but
she was fighting a duster, weren't she? But
she was.
Fighting a duster.
She was. Needless to say, opponent. Savannah Marshall, she can punch.
You know what I feel like American boxing now? American boxing is not great at the moment. If we're honest, you've got some very good fighters, you can argue, you know, Crawford has been pound for pound number one, and I love watching Crawford fight, and there's some good prospects coming up, but he's not dominant. But they say about British boxing that we overrate our fighters, and they're right when they say that. So I've just kind of given a balanced opinion. Like, they don't have the best of talent in America, but we do overrate our fighters, and I feel like Savannah Marshall is fantastic, but I don't like how dismissive they're being towards Clarissa Shields. I've read a lot of tweets and comments where people are saying, "Oh, she'll beat Clarissa Shields easily." Wow, Clarissa Shields is.
She ain't gonna be it easy.
Yeah, she's not. No one's beating her easy. She's you know, she turned pro and she's dominated everyone, and she's unified in 2 weight classes because she's, you know, because she's brilliant. So yeah, it's a good fight. I want to see Clarissa Shields versus.
They got a bit of history as well, because I think Marshall beat in amateurs.
But listen,
was it in the Olympics? It was in amateurs.
It's in the Olympics, yeah.
Okay.
Amateurs is amateurs and pros is pros, and that's again not to dismiss the amateurs. They're not easy, but they're both different fighters now to what they were then. And I just feel like in going into that fight, Clarissa Shields should be favourite. I feel like.
I think the only thing is Clarissa doesn't get many stoppages, whereas I think Savannah's getting stoppages. But then I think Clarissa's probably fighting a bit. Again, I don't know that much about women's boxing, so correct me if I'm wrong. But I think Clarissa's fighting higher position than Marshall is, especially homegirl she fought last night.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think's gonna happen if Clarissa fights her? It's all about levels, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good scrap. I think it will go to decision because Clarissa doesn't punch that hard. I think even if Savannah wins, I can't see her getting Clarissa Shields out of there because I think she's too stubborn, too fast, and she'll know how to survive if it comes to it. So I would say I'd pick Clarissa Shields to beat on points, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the same. Clarissa Shields will beat her on points. It's the same thing. Again, yesterday we watched a brilliant night of boxing, and there were, you know, a few instances of Johnny and whoever getting overexcited. So Conor Benn's gonna beat Sean Porter, he guarantees it, and you know, Savannah Marshall is gonna destroy Clarissa Shields. Like, calm down. Celebrate a good performance, because
learn to run before, like learn to walk before you can run in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Brilliant.
Is there anything else to talk about?
I think that's enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Right. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up and everything, guys. But thank you, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and everything, and all that good stuff. So I've been Rush, you've been Rich. That's that TBK podcast. Peace.
Peace.
And this is the TBK podcast.